I'd like to welcome everyone to our February 26th school board meeting. At this time, will you please stand for a moment of silence? Thank you. Now will Ms. Futrell lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance, please? Thank you. Agenda item 3.4, school board mission statement. Please lead us with that, Ms. Futrell.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Vice Chair. The mission statement of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship.
Madam Clerk, can you give us a roll call for our attendance, please? Present.
Yes.
Here.
Thank you. At this time, agenda item 3.6, consideration to approve today's agenda, and I'd like to entertain a motion.
Second.
Move to approve by Ms. Sessom, seconded by Ms. Futrell. Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, Madam Chair. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Agenda item 4.1. Do we have any speakers today for our proposed 2026 operating budget? All right. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Agenda item 5.1. Do we have any speakers on our agenda today? All right. Thank you. As well as 5.2. Consider agenda items 6.1 through 6.11. Excuse me. I said that 5.2. No. Okay. Yes. Consider consent agendas 6.1 through 6 through 11. I entertain a motion at this time.
Second.
Approval comes from Ms. Futrell, seconded by Dr. Walker. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
All right, thank you. Agenda item 7.1, monthly report, curriculum instruction. Dr. DeVries.
That's not Brian. That's not Brian right there.
Good evening, Vice Chair Cotton, school board members, and Dr. Bracy. Before our math leaders come up tonight to highlight the work that's happening in their area, I want to provide some information about 3 of the items that are included in your school board packet this week. First, as you know, for the past 2 years, we have included an additional ESL allocations in our annual budget to accommodate our growing multi-language learner population. To be proactive, our ESL coordinator and specialist are forming an ESL teacher prep cohort, which I'm really excited about, for the 2nd year in a row. We started this endeavor last year. Through an application process, 10 licensed PPS teachers will engage in learning about ESL instructional and compliance practices, observe and shadow current ESL teachers, and prepare to take the ESL praxis exam to add the ESL endorsement to their licensure. Through this program, we are growing the bench of teachers who are qualified to meet the needs of our growing multilingual learner population. I want to thank our ESL and More Languages coordinator, Ms. Hatfield, and our ESL specialist, Ms. Rodriguez, for their leadership of this in-house cohort program. Another important and time-sensitive process that we've been engaged in this past month is to work with schools to complete the multi-year school support plans and school improvement grant applications for each of our federally identified schools. Each school's plan contains 2 to 4 evidence-based interventions to directly support gaps that they have identified through their school needs assessment process. Once completed, the division support that we provide will be aligned to support the plans by providing professional learning, student-centered coaching opportunities, and providing intentional tutoring support during small group instruction. Principals will hold monthly progress monitoring meetings to evaluate the fidelity of their implementation of their evidence-based interventions, as well as the impact that they are having on student achievement. Site visits and monthly meetings will be conducted to evaluate progress and provide ongoing support from Dusty Johnson-Brinker, our Director of School and Teacher Quality, as well as our other division-level leadership. And finally, Portsmouth Public Schools has won a competitive VDOE grant to help our students and teachers excel in math. We were selected from over 250 applicants to launch a new summer bridge program which uses high-quality materials to help students master the basics before they move into advanced classes like Algebra 1. This funding also assists our page is stuck, hold on. Assists our middle school teachers in the praxis preparation and licensure endorsement attainment so that they can become certified to teach high school level classes at the middle school level, like Algebra 1 and Geometry. So just 3 exciting updates. There are plenty of more in your school board packets. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our elementary and secondary math coordinators, Dr. Wanda Calhoun and Ms. Endia Hatcher, to share highlights specific to teaching and learning in mathematics.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Vice Chair Cotton, Dr. Bracy, school board members, and guests. We are here this evening to talk about CRA, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Hatcher, my partner.
Good evening, Vice Chair Cotton, school board members, Dr. Bracy. I'm Ms. Hatcher, and we're here to talk about CRA model, which stands for the Concrete, Representational, and Abstract, and it's an instructional model that we use here in Portsmouth Public Schools. So we use it because we're focusing on igniting futures, primary action step, and we want to focus on consistent, high-quality learning experience for students in all classrooms.
Our team works to align activities, opportunities, and experiences to create future-ready individuals who are able to think critically, analyze, solve problems, and make connections. The concrete representational abstract method is a strong recommendation when we look at federally identified schools because it connects with what we can see and touch to how math works on paper. Many students struggle with math because numbers and symbols can feel like confusing foreign language, but because students have already seen and touched the math, the numbers actually make sense to them instead of just being things they have to memorize. It's like seeing the math in your head before you try to solve it on paper, which makes sense and makes this lesson stick longer.
And so those evidence-based interventions that the schools had to select, they're backed by heavy research. And so this research works for a broad range of students, including students with learning disabilities and those at a high risk of falling behind. And so if you notice some language from the 2023 new mathematics curriculum that we just adopted, these words represent, model, and using concrete objects appear multiple times. So we don't use CRA only just to instruct our kids. The VDOE also has them assessing them by having them drag and drop the manipulatives and items to provide an answer.
So we are going to look at a math problem. I have a quick little 40-second video. As you watch the problem, what I want you to watch is how the manipulatives are moved. So this is a first grade problem for equality. So they're looking for the counters in set 1. They're going to add counters to set 2 so that they can set those 2 sets equal. And so students would have the physical manipulatives. They can also draw and use representations. As you can see here, this is probably how a student might think about it. They're going to line them up. They're going to see how many more they need to make those sets equal. So you see there's five yellows and 1 blue equal to 6, and then 2 and 4 on the other side. So that sets those 2 expressions equal. And so we're using that all the way down in 1st grade.
It works the same in Algebra 1 when we introduce a variable, x and negative x. And so we have 0 pairs. So when you have a positive and a negative, when you combine them together, that results in a sum of 0. So a positive and a negative equals 0. And so in this example, we've got -5 plus 3, and it would equal a -2. It works the same in Algebra 1, Algebra 2 as well, because we're doing some polynomial addition. So we have introducing the variables x and -x. And so this expression would be x plus 3 plus -x minus 2. And so we'll see a video of this being worked out. So these algebra tiles provide a concrete and a visible representation of those operations by allowing students to physically manipulate tiles to represent terms and factors. So the math is not new. However, the way it's required to be taught and assessed is what's driving the need for professional development for teachers. So inside of your bags, first we wanted to thank you all because it's School Board Appreciation Month. So inside of your bag, it's just a little token of our appreciation that says, may you be proud of the work that you do, because we all appreciate all that you do. And there's a math pencil because you all are math superstars. And if you notice, there's some math problems in there. Pay no attention to the math problems. Pay no attention to the math problems. But those are some examples of the physical manipulatives that the students would use to work through some of those problems. Even in something as complex as Algebra 2, where they're doing polynomial multiplication, the students would still get to use those algebra tiles, and it still gives them access and equity for all students to be able to elevate to those algebraic concepts that sometimes we may not have remembered, but if you have that physical manipulation, you're able to use it.
In elementary and secondary, our team models CRA and division-led PDs, PLCs. We create and share CRA-aligned instructional resources. We provide coaching cycles for teachers to help them with their visual representations and the CRA method. We also have creative instructional videos that's embedded in our EduPlanet that teachers can watch over and over again, or they can show students. We also have, in our recently adopted textbooks, provide opportunities for students and teachers to engage with CRA. The videos you've seen tonight were created with Braining Camp virtual manipulatives, which are embedded in our high-quality instructional materials, which is our textbook, that all teachers and students have access to. And this is what we have coming up in mathematics. We had a great Cooking with Math last night. And then our elementary most attended event is the Math Madness basketball on March 21st. So if you're available, come out. It goes all day, and all elementary schools are involved, and they play each other, and it's a great time. And we do some math. We have lots of tables. We'll be doing CRA with parents and students that day.
My event I'm looking most forward to is the Algebra 1 in golf. So last year we were able to partner with Portsmouth Public Schools and Parks and Recreation, and we were at Bidawee, and so we did an Algebra 1 middle school, and we went golfing and we explored quadratic equations. So I look forward to doing that again with our new set of students in the middle school.
And that's it. Any questions?
Well, thank you, Mrs. Hatcher and Dr. Calhoun, for all, you thanked us for all that we do. I just want to say thank you for all that you do as well. Any other board comments? Ms. Futrell?
Thank you, Vice Chair. Hey, ladies, thank you so much for everything. I just had a question. You said, and I could have missed it, but this is the new practice, or the online piece is the new portion?
So this is the concrete, and then the visual, so if they move them online, it's representational.
Which part is new? All of it?
Well, it's been around for quite a while, but
I was about to say, I've been in childcare for almost 30 years. We've been playing with
Yes.
manipulatives. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
I think the difference is the way it's assessed now, because
Okay.
previously it wasn't part of the assessments. They were pretty much just all multiple choice, but now we have lots of drag and drop and technology enhanced items where they actually have to move and do the manipulatives. You can add to that.
Okay.
And we moved up from pre-K, so now we're doing it in high school. So
Okay.
at one time in high school, to think of bringing out toys or
Yeah.
things that you could touch.
The teddy bears,
Yeah,
like
the
this is
teddy
that.
bears. And so
Okay.
we're bringing those back into middle and high school because we all need them.
Yeah, okay, perfect, thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Dr. Walker?
So I have a question and I have a comment. So my first question is, how have you seen the data move in terms of students with mathematics using the CRA model, especially students with disabilities?
I do think we see some improvement this year. Definitely when you're working with kids one-on-one and in small groups, you can see where they have a deeper understanding because they can actually see it and understand it. I think it will continue to get better and better as our practice grows because, you know, we're still working very hard to get it going in all classrooms.
We've seen remarkable increase in our middle school because a lot of those aids are what's allowable accommodations. So that Code 19, we've been working with our general education teachers and our special education teachers, and some of the students are able to use these on our SOL tests. So they're able to use these visual representations or sometimes those concrete manipulatives to help them. So we've been training the teachers to work with them and the students.
Okay. Thank you. And then my statement is because CRA is basically multimodalities, and it also goes into differentiation of instruction. And everybody knows I'm a special education advocate, but Ms. Hatcher really knows that I was not familiar with the CRA model as an actual model. So I have stolen the model, and when I have 17 schools across the state of Virginia in my own job. So Ms. Hatcher follows me and sees that I do this, and I tell them every time I go, the district in which I am a school board member at, that is help improve their scores. So it's helping improve my student scores too in those 17 schools across Virginia. So I appreciate for you doing the model so other educators like myself can steal, and thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Thank
you.
Marilyn, Vice Chair,
Ms. McSwain?
thank you, sir. First of all, it took me a minute because I'm an Army grunt, so it took me a minute to get, but I would love to try to participate in actually seeing the kids or coming to see the kids. So if y'all could send Ms. Cheeks a reminder so she can send it to us and we can try to get it on our calendar so we can just see it in action because it's been 30 or 40 some years, but I was very interested. So, thank you.
No problem, we sure will.
Anyone else? All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
Right now here is agenda item 7.2, where we want to give some recognition and appreciation to, in regard to Appreciation Week for School Board Clerk, and we have 2 awards, and you'll receive your gift cards tomorrow for Ms. Jillian Cheeks as well as Ms. Brenda Stewart. If you can join us here at the podium, we just want to love on you and present you with these certificates.
I will read the certificates, and it's from the VSBA, Virginia School Boards Association, Leadership, Advocacy, and Support. This is the 2026 VSBA School Board Clerk Appreciation Week, which was February 16th through the 20th, 2026, and it's presented to, this one is Jillian Cheeks, in appreciation of your dedication and hard work in public education through continued service to the students of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and is signed by Jenny Nichols, VSBA President, and Gina Patterson, Executive Director. Congratulations.
Agenda item 8.1, monthly report, superintendent comments.
All right, good evening, Vice Chair Cardin and members of the board.
Good evening.
Our meeting, our meeting tonight is the third time in the past week that we've met together. Yeah, we had last week's work session meeting, tonight's regular board meeting, and last Saturday we took part in the joint City Council School Board retreat. It was a pretty full day, and we were able to discuss together possible collaborations, capital improvement needs, partnership opportunities, and much more. I know I had many notes that I took back to the office with me and on possible projects, initiatives that we could look into. I want to extend my thanks to City Manager Carter for his time and effort in hosting the day, as well as to all of our board members and council members. And I see Dr. Dawson present with us tonight, so I want to thank you personally as well for engaging with us in these conversations, which I hope will lead to great outcomes for our city and school division. We look forward to our next joint meeting on Monday, March 9th, where I'll be presenting my estimate of needs. Next up, I want to congratulate our own coordinator of Division Athletics, Shawnee Twyman, and Waters Middle School Athletic Director, Gabrielle Turner, for both receiving state awards from the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administration Association, VIAAA. Ms. Twyman received the 2026 Outstanding Service Award, and Ms. Turner received the 2026 Middle School Athletic Administrator Recognition of Service Award, as selected by VIAAA past presidents. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations to Ms. Turner and Ms. Twyman. We're grateful for the work. We're grateful for your work with our students and for your continued efforts in supporting our schools. Finally, I do have an event reminder for families. As many of you know, Kids in Grief is a children's bereavement program that offers support to students in grades kindergarten through 12 who are actively grieving a loss of an important person in their lives. We as a division have partnered with Bon Secours to provide support from Kids in Grief. And next week, we're going to host another community session with Kids in Grief where facilitators will work with students using arts, games, and other activities. The session will be held Wednesday, March 4th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Emily Spong Center. Registration is required. So interested families can call 757-384-9613 for more information. We hope all the families in need can attend. Thank you, Dr. Cotton. That completes my report.
Agenda item 8.2, any board member comments? Ms. McSwain?
Thank you, Vice Chair. I attended the Brighton Elementary Science Fair yesterday. And when I tell you that those students had some magnificent projects, let me start with, K through 2 was what I was judging. I was the judge, one of them. And those projects were they were presented so professionally. The kids knew what they had done with very little prompting from their teacher. Excuse me. And the second graders actually presented by themselves, which was very impressive because they knew what they were doing, didn't they, Dr. Flowers? They knew exactly what they were talking about. They let us participate, and I'm kind of a little goofy, so I was all for the acid and all that stuff. And then we went over to see the third grade to the sixth graders, and it was awesome. It was awesome. You had AI, where they had incorporated some AI into it, which is important. You had very original things, like when they did the brain, you had some use a half of a wig head, and they was showing us the different parts of the brain with that. And we want them to know how to read, so it's important to know what parts, the frontal and all that. I learned that yesterday, so I wanted to put it out like I knew it. But I mean, it was so much information in that room. And I want to thank Dr. Neal for inviting me, and I want to thank her for allowing the kids to do that. And if anybody else is doing that, please hit me up so that I can come, because I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other board comments? Ms. Futrell? Y'all went up at the same time.
Thank you, Vice Chair. So I definitely want to shout out Miss Bradley over at Douglas Park Elementary School. Let me tell you something. They had a positive tea party, and I carry my little bag everywhere I go with all my little patches. Now, I probably wasn't supposed to get all these patches, but she let me slide. Thank you, Lord. And so, just to see those girls be poured into the way that they did. They brought panels in at each session for the girls, including one of our board members. Well, they asked all of us to be, me and Ms. Atkinson, and Ms. Shoemake was there. She kind of alluded to all of us, but we voted that it would be Ms. Shoemake since she was a proud Douglas Park Elementary graduate. And so it was just so positive. It was so, I was just so moved to see those girls be poured into and to hear their comments afterwards. A seed was definitely planted that truly unlocked some core memories for them, and I can't wait to see what they do with the positive tea that took place. And so I want to go ahead and take a step further. Don't kill me, Dr. Bracy. But I want to just challenge every one of our schools. My God, I need y'all to do one of these. And Douglas Park is doing it for the boys next month. They're going to do what is it, March Madness? They're going to do March Madness for the boys, and they're going to pour into them and give them some positive affirmations and things to do. The girls made bags, they made crowns that they got the right affirmations on. They got their little teas and their danishes and sandwiches. It was just great altogether. So Ms. Bradley came up with this, and I think it is a steal. So every one of our schools, I think, need to find a way to figure out how we can make this happen. And it happened during the day, and the girls just rotated in. And it was just so smooth. They had it well thought out like a machine. And I just definitely want to give her kudos for that, and look forward to some emails from some other schools to invite us to theirs. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you. Sound like a great event. Ms. Atkinson?
Thank you, Vice Chair. First, thank you, Board Member Futrell, for covering that tea. That was an amazing event. And I also take my pouch of affirmations everywhere. So shout out again to Ms. Bradley. Secondly, I would like to thank the PPS Behavioral Health Team for hosting the Hard Work Brunch today. I missed it, but thank you, Dr. Flowers, for being sure that I received this award. It's beautiful, so thank you, and thank you for y'all continued commitment to acknowledge those that are doing great work in the community. Thirdly, before I'm a board member, I'm an activist first, so I lead with activism. I just want to let the Manor varsity basketball girls team know that I stand with them. I hope that with what's being done, something happens out of that. If not, you will know that, you know, the adults tried, because you don't know what you can do until you do it. And policy is put in place for it to be put in place, but policy also can change. So you can't know that you can change something until you attempt to try. So I appreciate all those that are in line with supporting these athletes. And I also want to note a particular section of the Virginia High School League handbook. You are ineligible until you become eligible. However, there are exemptions to this rule. And I want to go on a record by saying the policy in their handbook is PM 288.7-1, transfer rule postseason ineligibility exceptions. Eligibility can be achieved for the postseason if certain requirements are met. Then it goes to say waiver upon submission of necessary documentation. A district committee may waive the period of postseason ineligibility upon demonstration by the student that the transfer was necessitated by exceptional and unusual circumstances beyond the reasonable control of the student's family. The district committee may grant such waiver without a hearing upon receipt of appropriate supporting documentation as set forth below, demonstrating that a waiver is justified. I say all this to say there is a loophole in this policy. There is no specific date in which you have to submit your postseason requirements. So that's something that those that are fighting can take with them. This possibly can be a change because of what happened to our division. So again, take what you can take out of that, but Mountain Girls basketball team, myself as a board member, stand with you. And I will be at the court hearing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? With no other business, this concludes our meeting. Meeting adjourned.